Hello everyone, Cindy here with Create Your Own Luck and Love. I'm so excited to talk to you all today about getting him to open up. And I also, I want to make sure that I extend the invitation. I know some of you have messaged me. I haven't gotten back to all of your messages, which is great, but just know that I am doing email coaching all weekend long. So if you have something going on in your love life that, and I'm here to support you around that. So I answer all responses myself, and I'm the only one that's looking at them. So yay. With that said, I have some tips on helping you to get a man to open up to you. Yes, you. Hey, Tina. So a couple things that go on when it comes to dating and relationships. Sometimes men don't fully open up in the way that they could. And sometimes you have a hard time knowing what to ask and how to get him to open up in ways within which so you can connect deeper with him and he can actually connect deeper with you. And excuse me, guys, I should take a drink of water. Better. Okay, and if that, when that transpires, so there's a couple different things. Number one is a man does truly want to connect with you, and as women, we actually lead in the communication area. Some men are really good at it, and others just can be great at it with the right woman allowing them to open up. So, and you can utilize these tools when you're in early dating, getting to know a man, with things to say. So the number one rule of thumb is this: you want to give a man space to respond. So meaning this, as women, we have the tendency to problem solve very quickly in our brains. We have the tendency to have moved on to the next thing. You ever notice it when you're talking to a girlfriend and you guys are talking about something, the next thing you know, you interrupt one another and then you circle back around to the to the very thing that you had first started talking about. Or, there's a lot of interruption that tends to happen between women. That's how we communicate. That's how we connect. And men don't do that very well. It actually kind of ruins their thought process. So there's an old saying out there, and I add to it. It's called listen to learn. Okay? Listen to learn, don't wait to speak. So oftentimes women, when we're together, we get so excited, we will wait to speak. So with a man, when you're asking him a question, you might ask him a question such as, do you see yourself ever getting married again to the right woman? Give him space to respond. Wait for 6 to 10 seconds. And I know it seems like a long time, but he may respond to you straight up like, I don't know. And then he may continue to talk about it. He may say, well, come to think about it, I really loved being married. And I feel like with the right person, marriage is a great commitment, right? So he'll actually start to open up with what's deeper inside of him rather than just the first answer. And, other things that make men open up to you are things like touch, like a quick touch on the forearm, and still holding space for him to answer a question. And you could ask questions like, how was your day? Or how do you think your meeting went? If you ask him questions in ways of how do you think about that, it computes better with, well, how did you feel about the movie we saw? Well, men do feel very deeply, but they don't think in response to feeling responses. Does that make sense? So if you say, well, what did you think of the movie we saw? And give him space. I thought it was good. And then he'll actually be processing the information more, and he'll be able to go deeper. Right? What do you think? So if you're trying to get to know a man and you want to find out more about him, you could say, well, find out, where do you love to travel? What made you decide to move from New York to California? Get curious about him and give him space to respond. What do you love about, what do you love about California? Oh my gosh, I love the weather. It's perfect. It's not too hot and humid, right? I love being close to the beach, whatever it is for them. And that way you can find out what somebody's passionate about. You can also find out a lot about and get him to open up to you about how he is relationally. Let's just say, I'm on the California train, right? So let's just say he's an avid surfer. He's divorced. He's, let's just say you're getting to know him. He's told you he'd like to be in a committed relationship. Awesome. So, and let's just say this guy is obsessed with surfing. And he goes, because there are some people that are so avid, they literally go, 6 a.m., noon, and in the evening, right? So you want to find out, wow, I love the fact that you're so passionate about surfing. What makes you passionate about it? Why do you love it so much? Right? And if you come from a perspective, and I talk about this a lot, of leaning in, wow, how did surfing affect your relationship? Right? So the thing is that let's just say he's, surf obsessed. He loves it. And, men, they most value freedom in their life. That's one of their biggest fears when it comes to being in a committed relationship, being married. They value freedom. They want it to be their choice. So if you are curious and you want to seek to understand, he'll tell you a lot about that. And if it's important to you for him, let's just say you're in a relationship, and he would know that it makes you happy if you guys have dinner together every night, right? And that could, cut into his surf time, right? But what does it look like to create a win-win, right? What's really important to you? So, coming from a curiosity standpoint, seeking to understand how a person thinks, what made you decide to get into this, people have really interesting lives and they have really interesting stories. So you want to see who they are and how they show up. What's their way of being, right? Does he, maybe you love chivalry. You could share that. I love chivalry. What does chivalry even mean to you, right? So you could talk about that. You could ask him, what do you think of chivalry? You think it's crazy? You know, like, but ask a question and give him space to respond, right? Because men are very thoughtful about their answers when they have space. You know, as women, we like to move on. We might be like, oh gosh, I thought the movie was great, blah, 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 blah. What do you think? Where should we go eat? Right? So we're just moving on rather than taking some time, slowing down. And I talk about this, you guys, when it comes to relationship too. Moving slower to move faster later on. You know, not worrying about the fact that you met someone, he seems great, you're great, but, you know, you've gone out once a week for, you know, the first 3 weeks. You went on a business trip. You didn't see him, but he's in connection with you, right? It doesn't have to look a certain way. And I think, you know, when we talk about communication and getting him to open up, if he feels free, right? If he feels like, wow, she's not getting on my case because we haven't seen each other, you know, a lot of women will feel that and that energy will come out, even if they don't say anything, right? Haven't you felt that way where you're like, gosh, I'd like to see this guy, but maybe he's busy doing his thing too. So we all have lives that are busy, demanding, you just never even know, right? So looking at those things, taking that into consideration, being authentic, being yourself, and giving him space to respond, doing the touch, looking into his eyes. Eye contact is super important, and it's a way of creating a deeper connection. Because we live in a society that, let's face it, it's pretty disconnected these days, right? We meet on the internet. I talk to women all the time that say, gosh, it is so freaking hard to get a guy to commit to meeting me in person, right? Some of that's our energy. Some of that is actually what's coming up for us fear-wise. So it's being transmuted out there. When we tell the universe, like, none of these guys want to meet, or none of them are serious about a relationship. What happens is we actually manifest that, and we start creating self-fulfilling prophecies, and we also start creating self-sabotaging behaviors without knowing it. So I hope this has been helpful. Just give him space, touch on the arm, look into his eyes, ask open-ended questions, and let me know what you thought. Comments below, let me know if you have any questions, comments, and if you have a dating or relationship question, please, I'm doing email coaching for, basically the next 3 days. So let me know what's coming up for you, and I want to support you to have your next breakthrough in creating lasting love. I believe in infinite love, and I believe what you desire is so possible for you. So respond in my inbox, just do a quick DM. And I am sending you guys so much love. I hope this video was helpful. It was meant to be helpful, simple, and let me know how it goes. Just try it, because in fact, one of my clients, she tried this. She's married. She tried this with her husband, and she thought, oh my gosh, this totally works. And she was conscious of it because he would sometimes shut down, and she wasn't quite sure what he was thinking. And a lot of times women don't always know what a man is thinking either, but it really helped her to see how he processed information, and he started opening up more. And now they've become closer than ever, which was her goal. Anyways, I'm sending you guys so much love. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.